You have to really speak on your own life and your own journey. And you have to, believe that whatever it is that you want to actualize and bring into reality, that's how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So supposed to be, I say that, the song is so powerful because of that reason, because of that intention.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Go. Let's go.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Sitting with me is one of the greatest guys in music, one of the nicest guys in music, one of the most talented individuals. He can dance. He can sing. He's a superstar. You know who it is. Ladies and gentlemen, make a ton of noise.
Omarion.
For Omarion.
Wow. Come on, Elmo. You got the cues going up. Thank you for having me, my good brother. What's up, man?
Man, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
We just had a lot of fun at the Jam together.
Amazing. Amazing. First of all, amazing event. I've been watching it from afar for some time.
Yeah.
I follow you on the gram.
Oh, let's
you know
go.
What I'm saying?
Let's go.
And I just been watching it like, wow, look at all of these wonderful musicians. It's very rare that you can get so many talented people in one room. And, the music heads, we thank you, my brother. We thank you, my brother.
Hey, that means a lot, honestly. And it's so cool because I had a lot of friends in music before Jammcard and the Jam, like Rance and James, Paul Leroy.
Yeah.
And but then like Jammcard and the Jam has brought me so many new friends like you,
Word.
which is so cool, man. It's like the community has grown so much, and it's awesome to be able for that to become a vehicle that like gets you to fuck with it and the movement and everything.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It means a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Jam was a wonderful experience. Far too often in my career, it's always been, this big production, me having dancers and me, choosing specific, musicians. But, I was reminded during Jam how dope it is just to connect with the world of music and different musicians. It was a horn section. We was in the round. I'm like, yo, this is a vibe. I have to do this from time to time. Just step in the round and just really enjoy music, man. I thank you. It was a great experience, and I'm so happy that you invited me, and of course with 1500, my boys, we have a long history together as well. So, I mean, just amazing experience.
It was so special, man, to have you, and you crushed it in that atmosphere as you always do in your show, but it's a different atmosphere because it's more raw, right? Yeah. It's like unrehearsed. You're like, hey,
exactly.
What is this? Now, you do have 1500 or nothing backing you, and you do have some incredible background singers.
That helps.
Yeah.
That definitely helps.
But you still had to be Omarion. And you did, and you crushed it. And there was a moment for me because it's in the round, right? So
yeah.
So you could be singing, you're like, where there is no like, here's the front of stage,
right.
Here's the center. That's part of the how we designed it was like, it's inclusive. Like It's not like drummer in the back, keys in the back. It's like everyone's in the front in the round, right? And you're moving around. There is no like, oh, just look at this, but then you're neglecting this side. It was everywhere. So I was like, okay, cool. How's Omarion going to do this? And then I was like, I realized. As you were playing at the Jam, I was like, oh man, I feel like Omarion's kind of singing at me. I feel like he's looking at me like, this is cool. I got my Omarion show. I'm like, this is tight. He's like giving me a show. This is really cool. And I felt really good. And then I realized I looked to my left and Ari Lennox was standing right next to me.
Yeah, shout out to Ari Lennox.
And that was when I realized that you were not performing for me. You were performing for Ari Lennox.
I was. She was right there. But I saw you too. I was like, yo.
I was like, Ari, stand next to me. Omarion.
Yeah, shout out to Ari Lennox.
She crushed it too.
Yeah, I got the opportunity to bring her up. And, that was really, really cool. And she's an amazing artist. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, the Jam, I mean, I saw my boys. I saw my boy, Sir, in there. You know what I mean? I seen the bros in there. I mean, everybody was in there. It's just amazing.
D-Smoke.
Yep, D-Smoke.
Exhibit.
Yep. Come on.
OG. Yep. Young OG killing it.
Yeah, OG is amazing.
Simba.
Yep.
There was a lot of people that night. That was really fun. Hey, I got to tell you something that I didn't tell you that night.
What happened?
It's such a good story. I wasn't planning on saying this, but I have to. Okay, so Because you just reminded me when you said that you got to announce her, right?
Yeah.
So here's what was happening behind the scenes and me trying to run this show, right? So I heard that Ari Lennox was down to play a couple days before, right? I was like, okay, tight. I was talking back and forth between, Rance and Q. Shout out to Quentin.
Yeah, shout out to Q.
And we were talking, and I was also talking with her manager, and we were going back and forth. And then so they're like, okay, cool. So Ari comes, and she walks in, and she's like, oh man, this is crazy. This is a lot, right? I was like, yeah, and she's really shy.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So I was like, when she walked in, she went to like a kind of a crowded area, and there is no like artist area at the Jam Jam. The whole thing is artist area, right? So she walked in, and I think she was a little overwhelmed.
Right.
So I went and found her, and her manager was like, "Can we get her a better spot?" So I was like, "Oh wait, come over here." So I brought her over by like where the keyboard station was, because I was like, I could put a keyboard in front of her,
right?
A keyboard player that'll do it, and then that'll make her feel a little more comfortable,
right?
So then I wanted her to play early in the show. So like 1500 played their intro, and then we like brought up OG, and then I was like, okay, cool. Like, should we bring up Ari now? And I was looking at her, and Ari was kind of like, like
not right now.
Not right now. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I was like, who can I bring up? I was like, oh, let's bring up Trap Jazz.
Right.
So I brought up Trap Jazz. Trap Jazz came out and killed it. But it's like big sounding, right?
Of course.
So she was like into it, but I think she was also like it's not soft, right?
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, and I looked at her, and she was like still not ready. Her manager was texting me like, she's not ready. And I was like, okay, and I was like, all right, cool. I'll bring up D Smoke.
Right.
Because I'm just looking around like, oh, there's D Smoke. Okay, D Smoke comes out, kills it, kills it, and she was vibing. He brought out his wife, right, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
and I was like,
so dope.
It was so dope. I was like, okay, great. And I looked at her, and she was like loving it. And then I was like, she's just like, and I'm like, okay,
that's crazy.
And then I'm like, Simba, right? Simba comes out, kills it,
right?
But once again, it's masculine, right?
Right.
And then so she's loving it again. I'm looking at her, she's like, no, and I'm like, all right, well, really, all I have is like I got to go straight to Omarion, and I wanted you to like close,
right?
So
right.
I was
right.
like, and then so I like texted Katrina, and I was like, hey, is Omarion ready? And she was like, oh no, he needs his wireless pack. We can't find his. And I was like, so I went to the middle of the circle. It's like, Ari's not down, and you weren't ready yet. And I was like, what do I do? Right, and I got to keep the show going, and no one knows what happens, obviously, behind the scenes.
Right.
In my head. So I look at Rance, and I'm like, who's in the building? I hand him the mic. I'm like, say something, Rance, and he was like, yo, what's up, everybody? Like, who's feeling it? And I was like, Rance, who? I was like, call someone up right now. And Rance is like, only Elmo gets to call someone up. And I was like, come on. I was trying to help him. I was like, help me, Rance.
Right.
Bro, you know this room.
Right.
I knew the room too, but he knew other people, right? And so we were doing it at Volume Studios in the new 1500 home.
Right.
So anyways, he was like, well, Exhibit's over there. And I was like, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Exhibit. So we call up Exhibit.
That was dope.
Killed it.
That was dope.
Intense.
Yeah.
Like coming from the east, coming from the west.
Right.
Super sick moment.
Yeah, that was dope.
And so Ari still is like, yeah, but like, no. And I was like, all right, we got to go to Omarion, right? Because at this point, I'm like, we might not even have, Ari might not play because she just doesn't feel comfortable in this element, which I respect, right?
Yeah.
So then you come out, and I was like, oh, he's going to make it sexy. He's going to make it soulful. This is going to get Ari to be like, okay, cool. You play. She's loving it, right? Yeah. She's just like, clearly, Omarion's in front of her. Thought Omarion was singing to me, but he was singing at Ari Lennox. But she's loving it. So then you finish.
Yeah.
She's like melted in a puddle, right? She loves it. And so I'm like looking at her like,
you ready now?
This is your time. Like, this is it. There's no one else.
Right.
No. Right? And I was like, what do I do? And you're like, thank you, everybody. Right. And I walked up to you before you got off, and I whispered in your ear, yo, man, call up Ari.
Yep. And I was like, oh, okay, no problem. Set me right up.
Yes.
I was like, and Ari Lennox. And she was like, oh.
No, you said the perfect thing, actually, because I watched the tape back. It was so, you did it without even knowing what you were doing, but still knowing what you're doing. Right. You're Omarion. You're the smoothest man on earth. So you were like, I thought there was a pretty girl in the audience or something. And you like, and she like, you made her feel like, okay, you're like calling her out, Ari Lennox, and the crowd's like, Ari Lennox is in the building, right? Crowd realizes. Then you're like, come over here. And she said to you, no.
I was all in my
You were
elevator.
on your thing and you didn't know that no was an option. So you're like, get over here. Come on over here.
Like,
and then she did.
oh,
and then we handed her the mic.
Tight.
And then she crushed it. And so,
She
my
did.
friend, thank you.
Come on.
3-minute story later, maybe
Come on.
5. Thank you because you made Ari Lennox feel comfortable and welcome in that space, and you created that space for her to come and flourish and be the amazing butterfly of an artist just that she is. And so, but it was so pro of you, bro. It was
I didn't even know. I was like, I thought about it afterwards. I was like, wait a minute. Oh, is she ready? Because I've definitely been in that position before, you know what I mean? And not been ready because, it's so much going on. But, as an artist, it's when they call, you got to come now. Yeah. You got to give them that vibe.
And you have to create the space or now you're typically the artist. In this case, you helped from artist to artist, though, to warm that space for her and make her feel in the comfortable environment because, as an artist, right, you got to make that comfortable environment or else either they're not going to play or if they play, it's like, that's how you get the dull show that you don't love the crowd for whatever reason. Or
the interesting moment. We're going to call it interesting. Or that interesting moment. You're like, we didn't plan for this, guys. But that whole just jam flow and situation, it's just a beautiful thing, everybody that was there enjoyed themselves. And again, like I said, I haven't just like rocked out with a mic stand and musicians, you know what I'm saying? So it was a treat for me. It reminded me, it brought me back to, my old church days.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because I actually started playing the drums in church, and I had to be.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Drums was your first instrument?
Yeah. Well, actually, tap dance.
That makes sense.
Tap dancing. My first recital was at 5. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So music has always been a major journey, even through dance and performance. I'm definitely one of those performing arts kids. I always tell you that, especially with all of the great things that you guys have going on. With the programs,
with School Gig,
with School Gig and everything. So, yeah, man, amazing.
Well,
thanks for that. Thanks for that, man.
Thank you, Omarion.
Thanks, Elmo.
My guy, that was amazing. And so you performed Serious that night.
Yes.
Your new smash.
Come on.
Hitting the number 1 on the R&B charts.
Woo!
Full Circle album hitting number 1 on the R&B charts.
Woo!
Just Omarion doesn't miss, bro. You haven't missed since you became an adult.
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Man, yes. I mean, from B2K into O and your solo album, and then just like boom, boom, boom into today, still hitting with these number 1s. Man, it's amazing. Yeah. And the album's called Full Circle, so I'm sure. I'm sure this is kind of a double question, but like with the album called Full Circle, does that have to do with the fact that like, man, you have fans that have been just growing up with you that still just they've been loving you for decades now.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a privilege, in hindsight. You don't really realize when you're on your journey the influence and the connection that you're creating with your audience, and I'm one of the few entertainers that started so very young. So, I grew up with my fan base, we're continuing to grow. I remember being on the Millennium Tour, and a lot of the young ladies was like, I left my child at home today to come and see you. And I'm like, wow, we have all really grown to this level, and then I think about other artists that has inspired me, like Ron Isley and people that continue to perform. And it's a journey, you know what I'm saying? And I'm so very grateful to still be inspired by real life things, by sharing my creative art to still connect, because this is very still much a business, and it can wear you down, coming up with dates, not being inspired, life, just lifing, you know what I mean? Because life isn't easy for anyone, you know what I mean? As a creative artist, you want to be inspired, you want to share your story. And that's what I truly love about being an artist is that, it's a forever unfolding if you allow it, and then also, being introduced to things like trap jazz, you know what I'm saying? Seeing people transform all of these class and genres of music, I can't wait to get into that for myself. You know what I mean? Don't be surprised. Well, you know what? I ain't gonna say nothing, but don't be surprised. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Don't be surprised if you hear an Omarion country song. You know, don't be surprised if you hear a jazz song. You know,
let's go.
You know, like I said, music is something that has so much depth. You know, as an artist, you can just continue to recreate yourself, and that's what I'm loving. You know what I mean? Shout out to everyone who has checked out the Full Circle album. You know, the Full Circle album is out now, and we're getting prepared for Sonic Book 2, which is coming out in December. Fourth quarter, you know what I mean? So we released Sonic Book 1 was it March or May? May? Yep, 5/5 was the date, huh? 5/5 was the date. And now we got Sonic Book 2. So shout out to everyone who worked on that project with me, Miltone, Greg Curtis, and so many others.
Yeah, they did most of the album, right?
Yeah. So what I love about creating albums like that, you know, I definitely grew up, you know, in the era listening to Rodney Jerkins and Brandy and watching so many creative people have that synergy. I think that's actually a key, you know, a major key to creating, you know, a body of work that, you know, is, I guess, you know, sustainable. You know, it's cool to be able to have a bunch of different producers, but when you're able to, you know, create a bookmark, a relationship with a producer that you love.
Yes.
You know, we're used to getting those projects. Justin Timberlake and Timberland.
Yep.
You know, Pharrell Williams, who I both work with, Timberland and Pharrell.
Oh, yeah.
You know, to have that cohesive project, I think is a very important thing in an artist's journey. You know what I mean? Creating that synergy, having that synergy. So Full Circle is a project that I did that with Miltone and Greg Curtis. So yeah.
It's such a good album, man. I can't wait for the second one. It's amazing.
Thank you. And I also have another album called Passport with James Fauntleroy, myself and James Fauntleroy.
What?
Yeah, so we've been holding that. We gonna give y'all that when it's time.
Oh my God.
But yeah, shout out to my brother James Fauntleroy, the amazing James Fauntleroy. So yeah.
I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, man, it's a journey. It's amazing. To surmise it, you know.
We got to get you in the studio with trap jazz too.
Yeah, we got to make that happen. That'd be incredible.
Great. So, would love to talk with you about your unique perspective in working with these super producers.
Yeah.
Let's just hone in. Let's talk about, you've worked with Pharrell.
Yep.
You've worked with Timbaland.
Yeah.
What is it like for you as an artist and how they produce you? Like, how are they different as producers? Not like, oh, Timbaland's beats are more aggressive and a little more complicated, and Pharrell's are more right. But like, for your unique perspective as you the artist, when you guys are collaborating, how is Timbaland and how is Pharrell? How are they different?
Well, Pharrell is, you know, someone that not only I've been a fan of, you know, but someone that has such a unique style as a producer, as a visionary, that he's able to kind of look at you and bring out the best things, you know, and infuse his flavor. And that's what I feel like, you know, a great producer is. A great producer is not just making, you know, like, oh, I'm going to make a hit sound. You know, of course they have their hit sounds and their memorable sounds, but they know how to uniquely work with artists to bring out the best in them. And, you know, when me and Pharrell worked, you know, how old was I? 19, 20, 21? You know, he also introduced me to Noble and Nigo and Japan and so many other things. You know what I mean?
That's
shout
awesome.
shout out to Pharrell. And that's what I love, you know, about working with him.
Yeah.
I remember flying down to Miami, and shout out to KP, you know, who connected us at that particular time. I was on Sony.
Mm-hmm.
And I flew down to Miami, man, and I remember when I pulled up to the studio, there was this white Brooklyn Bentley sitting in the front. I'm like, ooh, look at this. It had to be his. It was his.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I pulled up in the studio. Chad was also in there. And
Chad Hugo.
Yep. And man, they start cooking up right on the spot. And that's what I really loved and appreciated about Pharrell as well. You know, it wasn't like he had, you know, these songs like, okay, listen to these and and tell me what you think. You know, maybe you can sing this one, you know what I mean? But he like decorated a song specifically for Omarion. And I feel like Touch is one of those unique one of his unique records that definitely stand out in his catalog. So working with Pharrell was just a pure joy. You know, a full circle moment with him and I would be just amazing. You know what I mean? In the future, you know, to work again. You know what I mean? And Timberland. Now, Timberland is one of my favorite producers. It just so happens they're both from VA. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right along with Teddy Riley. So VA definitely got something in the water down there.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I didn't get a chance to work in the studio with Timberland, but there was.
Really?
Wow. We actually... but he came to support at the video.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He pulled up to the Icebox video, which is one of my biggest records, you know what I'm saying, to date.
You guys weren't in the studio together at all?
No.
Whoa.
Right. And it's so crazy because after that, you know, I was signed to his label for a really short, brief moment. You know what I'm saying? So Timberland has always been one of my favorite producers. I didn't get to work with him in the studio, but obviously his catalog speaks for itself. You know what I'm saying? So
did Icebox start with the Timberland beat?
Yes, it did. And then myself and JQ was in the studio. We started throwing out ideas. He was like, what do you want to talk about? You know what I'm saying? What is this beat giving? You know what I mean? And shout out to Zeke and Carrie because me and JQ started writing the first verse and the hook. And then they came and then we pretty much finished up the record. But we did that at Larrabee.
Oh, at Larrabee?
Yeah, we did that at Larrabee.
That's awesome.
So, you know, that's my Timberland story. You know what I mean?
That's
Timberland
so
and Pharrell, so amazing to have them, you know, a part of my catalog. You know, the legendary producers, you know what I'm saying?
So when I think Omarion, I think like super happy guy.
Yeah.
But Icebox is like, I'm like, you weren't writing that about yourself. You're too happy.
Well, you know, at that particular time, I did just break up with my, at the time, girlfriend.
Yeah.
And, you know, at that time, I was very young, and it was kind of difficult for me to have a relationship, you know. Being super famous and, you know, dating a normal girl and, you know, she getting ready for college. You know, she went to USC. You know what I mean? I did have an Icebox at that time.
Yeah.
And the dope thing about it is to be able to, as a creative, pour in your personal experiences. You know, that's a nugget, you know what I mean? So
absolutely.
I definitely was in that vibe. I was in that like, no, I got this Icebox. You know what I mean? And fast forward years later, being one of the biggest songs, you know, of mine to date.
It's so great. It's crazy to hear how that comes together and because how old were you when you wrote Icebox?
21, because that was on the 21 album.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was about 21, 22-ish.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So how did Post to Be come about? Because that's one of those songs where, I mean, first of all, Smash.
Yeah.
A lot of people involved in that song, right?
Yeah.
Like you, Mustard.
Yep.
Chris Brown, Janae Aiko.
Yep.
How did Post to Be come together?
Yeah, so I went to go pull up on DJ Mustard, you know what I mean? And I was like, yo, what's up? What's good? You know, this was during the time that, I mean, he was killing it.
Yeah.
You know, had the radio on lock.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, this is a California native. Yo, Mustard, I got to pull up on you. What's up? I pulled up on him and then at Chalice, actually.
Okay.
Yep. I pulled up on him at Chalice and then, you know, he played me a few beats and he kind of skimmed over Post to Be. And I was like, hey, man, hold up, go back to that one. He went back to that one. And myself and Sam, we started like playing around with the melody. You know what I mean? Shout out to Micah. Shout out to all the writers and the people who contributed on that song. So after I did my verse, you know, I hit up my boy, Chris Brown. I was like, yo, man, I need you to hop on this record. He like, hey, man, pull up. I pulled up on CB at the record plant and yeah, we wrote the verse
because
right there.
he was already there?
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
He was working on some other music.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was like, "Pull up on me. I'll be at the studio tomorrow." And that was one of his favorite places to record all
Yeah.
the time. And mine too. And Pharrell.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so many other
Yeah, and so
artists,
many
you know
others,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? So yeah, I pulled up on him at the record plant, and yeah, we did the verse right there. We wrote the verse. You know what I mean?
What did you already have with Post to Be?
Just my verse. Just
your
my
verse.
verse and the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, just my verse and the hook. And
The whole beat.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the whole
The
beat,
synth line and everything.
all of that was
yeah,
there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I pulled up on
Because that song hits you immediately.
Oh,
Yeah.
was I about to be? Oh, yeah, that's a big vibe. But yeah, I put up on CB, and then shout out to Bobby Love too, because he was there in the session with me. We wrote the verse right there, you know what I mean? And then I sent it to Janae, and then Janae worked on it and sent it back to me, you know what I mean? So
Nice.
it was a whole. It takes a village.
Wow.
It takes a village.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them. That is my biggest record today.
I like that it was you bringing that song around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool. Almost diamond. Almost a billion streams online as well.
Yeah.
So, we gonna get to that. We gonna get to a diamond record.
Man.
We gonna be in the diamond club. I'ma just let y'all know that.
Most
gonna be in the
definitely.
diamond club. Yeah. So
Yeah. Post to Be being Diamond.
That's how I'm supposed to be.
Hey, that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah.
It is supposed to be. And you played that at the Jam, and that was
Yeah.
my face was hurting from smiling.
Yeah, and just to speak about that song, you know what I mean? It's really an affirmation.
Yeah.
That's an affirmation song. That's how it's supposed to be. You have to really speak on your own life and your own journey. And you have to, believe that whatever it is that you want to actualize and bring into reality, that's how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So supposed to be, I say that, the song is so powerful because of that reason, because of that intention.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So thanks to Janae Aiko and Chris Brown helping me amplify that record. I want to say in our class and genre, there's not a bigger song,
Yeah.
and a bigger collective,
Yeah.
in R&B.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? So yeah.
How does a hit song change your life?
It changes your life in many ways. I think in one aspect, you don't know how inspiring it is to others. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
There's so many times that fans have came up to me and like, yo, that song right there that helped me get through a rough time, or, it inspired me to, keep going, when I didn't feel confident, you know what I'm saying? So a hit song changes not only in that aspect, but, financially, you know what I mean? You're able to do some things for yourself and for others. You know what I'm saying? A hit record that changes a lot of things.
Changes a lot of things.
Yeah.
Everything.
Changes everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And being someone that isn't shy of having many hit records, we want to keep changing my life, y'all. We want to keep doing that, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
being inspiring people is something that I love to do, you know what I'm saying? So
That's the best.
Yeah.
How do you because it happened to you so young, man, and you really
Yeah.
I really feel like you have a good strong head on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Like, why was it because your mom was around? Did that help a lot?
yeah, definitely. My foundation.
Because your mom was on tour with you, right? With
Yeah, yeah.
even B2K days.
Yep.
She was the hairstylist.
Yeah,
That's-
shout out to my moms.
That's so cool.
Moms was on the journey with me.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
I would definitely say that my foundation has attributed to, me being able to soar and to reach different heights. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always say to artists and creatives, you gotta build a strong foundation. In order to build a strong building, it has to have a great foundation. You know what I'm
yes.
saying? And structural integrity.
Oh,
you know what I
yes.
mean? So shout out to my mom and also my nana and also my brother and also, my family. We're a really tight-knit family, close-knit family. You know what I'm saying? So
That's awesome.
I would definitely attribute their support, you know what I mean? Because I'm from LA, I'm born and raised here. So a lot of people come here and they create their dreams, but this is my backyard, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
oh, yeah.
So through, performing arts school, commercials, I've always been able to express myself, and articulate my creative wherewithal. You know what I mean? So having that foundation has given me the ability to do that.
And that means everything.
It does. It does.
Because it's nothing, you know, you make friends with people, you have people in your life, got a lot of money, a lot of success, whatever, but they're clearly not happy, not fulfilled.
Right.
Going through some crazy hard shit. And I'm not talking about like moments, because hard moments will always happen no matter who you are and what you are and whatever.
That's facts.
But just, you know, whatever it is, negativity. I don't know. I feel like also your positivity, I think carries also your constant success.
Yeah.
Because you having the bright light that is you naturally, whether or not you have to, you know, take care of it to make sure that it naturally stays bright.
Yeah.
I think that's why your trajectory just keeps going, man. Your path is just like beautiful.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. It's not easy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's something that you have to choose. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I speak about this in my book, you know, showing the book. Unbothered, the power of choosing joy. Yes. So I speak about this in my book, especially, you know, when it comes to being in this business, because I had to pay for a lot of lessons.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially in business. You know, I didn't always have the best guidance. I didn't always have the best representation. And, you know, we hear this all the time about these horror stories of artists, you know, being taken advantage of.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that can stain you, you know, that can end up being something that you carry, you know, but realizing and recognizing when you find your tribe and you find the people that are, you know, supposed to support you on your journey, it's a beautiful thing. And, you know, I speak about that, you know, I speak about, you know, my beginnings, you know, I speak about my hardship with my group, you know, I speak about my personal relationships, and ultimately it's up to you. Mm-hmm. The power of choosing joy, the power of changing your mind, the power of, you know, recognizing and realizing like, yeah, well, everything isn't always sunshine, you know what I mean? But choosing to share a different perspective is truly up to you. And I feel like that's, you know, a journey that we're all on essentially, you know, creating that balance of being real and looking at situations and taking them for face value, but also being like, but hey, you know, here's a lesson. Here's a beautiful thing about that, you know, and I constantly choose that for myself. And, you know, being inspired by Michael Jackson, Marvin Gaye, Prince, and so many other greats, you know, that's one thing I feel like I can impart differently from them, you know, because I'm definitely like, you know, their creative child. You know what I'm saying? They've influenced my sound. They influence how I walk, how I talk, you know, how I dress, you know. So to be able to say, okay, you know, I'm inspired by all of that, but what can I give? You know, I can give you, you know, the choice to be reminded that joy is up to you.
Yes.
You know? So, yeah.
Joy is up to you, which I love. And also my dad always told me something when I was young that stuck with me, which is that he said, stress is a choice of a reaction to a situation.
Right.
You don't have to be stressed.
Exactly.
Even over a bad or uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean,
those two quotes kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, that's true. I've been in so many situations, you know what I'm saying? Circumstances where, you know, I was embarrassed or, you know, things didn't turn in my favor. But ultimately, it's like, you know, you take inventory, you learn from it, and you get better.
Yes.
You know, and that's what life is all about. You know, it's not going to be just this one thing that you come to arrive to, you know, or this plateau. You know, you can continue on forward, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm loving about my journey, you know, because I see so many of my artist friends get frustrated, you know, say they're going to go on hiatus. Oh, this is my last album. I'm like, you're never going to hear that from Omarion. You know what I'm saying? When I hear artists say that, I'll be like, quit lying, you know, because this is a gift. You know what I'm saying?
You're just like saying a temporary emotion out loud.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
you're like, I'm frustrated or I'm over it right now in this moment.
Yeah.
Or I'm uninspired.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it would be better if you said that.
Yeah.
You know what,
Be honest.
y'all? I'm uninspired.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and like I was saying, the business can take a toll on you. Sometimes
For
you
sure.
do need to take a break. You know what I mean? I could imagine, like Beyonce, she's probably on her way to take a break. You know what I mean? Because
She's been going hard for years.
she's killing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's just so important, for me as an artist to continue to transform myself. You know what I mean? I'm a transformative artist, as my OG Michael Beckwith say. You know what I mean?
I think that's because you're tapped in.
Yeah.
And you're open to experimenting.
Yeah.
Like you said, maybe a country album.
Come on.
Whatever it is. So it's like, whatever can make you feel inspired and happy and feel good. Like we try a lot of things with Jammcard. Like I always tell the team too, like, let's try these things. If they work out, great. If they don't, we learn something from it.
Right.
And also, if it does work out, but does it feel good? It's got to not just work out. It's got to work out culturally. It's got to work out business wise, and it's got to feel good.
Yeah.
Or else, why not? Why do it?
Yeah.
And some things feel really good, but they don't. It's not. Doesn't make that much business sense. But you're like, well, that's okay because it feels so good.
Exactly.
But not the other way around.
Yes.
You can't do the other way around.
Oh my goodness. And
You'll be miserable, which is then not worth it. We're on this planet for such a short time.
That's true. Yeah, no, I've been through that. I've been in those situations, where it's like, hey, you still got to perform tonight, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of this, shit is happening.
Yeah.
But you still got to perform tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're right. You don't want to be in that position.
Yeah.
You don't want to be working at that job, that you don't feel valued in. You don't want to be in those places where you aren't loved and appreciated. You know what I'm saying? And essentially, being in charge of your life, helps you kind of create that space, so that's something that I had to grow into because I started so young. You know what I mean? I wasn't always in spaces where I was appreciated. I wasn't always in spaces where I was respected. And I'm so excited to be in this place now because, I have that marriage of the business making sense and doing what I love. You know what I mean? So it's flowing. That's how it should be.
Congratulations.
It's not always like that for artists. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? We have to go through a lot, to arrive. You know what I mean? And it's still unfolding for me. So I'm so very happy.
Well, I think for you,
That's how I'm supposed to be.
I'm going to pay you 8 cents every time I hit that
Come
button.
on. That's how it's supposed to be.
I'm newly single.
Oh, word.
Can I ask you some relationship advice?
Come on, man. Talk to me.
I need some relationship advice from Omarion. Okay.
Tell me.
How do you know when a girl is into you for the right reasons?
I think that there's a few things, you know what I'm saying? I think that you definitely have to be able to articulate and communicate who you are, and not just verbally, but in location, in restaurants, you know what I'm saying, in music tastes. I think that certain things have to align because, a great relationship, certain things are unspoken.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that you can tell by the support that, whoever you're interested in gives you. The communication, the questions that they ask is very important because I ask a lot of questions. So when certain women, they don't ask questions, I'll be like, is she smart?
Yeah.
You
For
know
real.
what I mean? For real. So to me, I think in order to really know if a woman is into you, she got to ask questions.
Yeah.
She has to be curious and she has to all around just like dig your timing. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody has different timing, depending on their job and what they do. We're in the music business, so I say we work 24 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We all around the clock. Anything could pull us away. You know what I'm saying? How does she take that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is she supportive of that? You know what I mean? Does she want to get in your business, you know what I mean, and mess up your timing, or does she want to be supportive of that? And I think asking questions is a great way to figure out if a woman is really into you. You know what I'm saying?
Do they actually care for the right reasons?
Yeah, because you can take them to a night place, especially like first dates. It's always like cool for the first couple of months.
Yeah.
That's why patience is my best friend.
Right.
I always lay that out. I say, hey, I'm a patient person. Can you handle that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I like to take my time. Like we don't gotta talk every week. You know what I'm saying? We can talk every now and then.
Oh, he straight up said every week, not even every day.
Yeah, I mean, the schedule is busy. You know what I'm saying? Shoot me a text. But hopping on the phone, sometimes it's like, yo, I'm on a Zoom. I got to do this call. I got to do that call.
For real.
So sometimes that text, hey, just, hoping that you're having a great day. I trust that everything is amazing. When you get an opportunity, I would love to talk to you.
Ooh.
It's like, oh, okay.
That's a mature person.
Like, hold up. Let me make some time for you, baby.
Exactly. Someone hits you with that, you're like, okay, I noticed. I'll make the time for that. I want to.
Yeah, so that's my advice.
Facts.
That's my advice.
Okay, opposite side of that.
Okay.
How do you end something when you know you need to?
Right.
Are you good at that? Are you bad at that? That's like a really difficult thing, whether it is.
Yeah.
I mean, this is any kind of relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, business, bad representation, whatever it is.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yeah, so like I said, communication is very important.
Yeah.
And to be able to articulate where you are, I think great relationships respect that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not always easy.
Yeah.
And sometimes it gets a little messy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But I think that it is important that you always stand in a position of respect and honesty. And I think that, it's important to communicate that. It's been so many times I've been in certain situations that I may have even been in a little too long, and I had to find the words. I had to find, the courage to say, you know what, this is not working for me.
Yeah.
This is not working for me. And let me tell you why. And even with those conversations, it's like, there might even be an opportunity where a person can be like, I see how you feel that. Let's try it like this. You know what I'm saying? But it's very important as a human being. I'm not even going to just say as a man, because as a man, it's uber important. But as a human being, it's important to be able to know where you stand with things, to articulate where you want to be, and to make sure you communicate if it's not working for you.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, great relationships respect that.
Yes.
And for me, I don't want to be around or be holding of people that want to do different things. You know, my whole thing is just don't lie.
Yeah.
Just don't tell me that everything is good if it's not good.
Not good.
Be honest with yourself first, and then you're able to articulate where you want to be. You know what I'm saying? So.
I think people that lack honesty or trust don't trust themselves, or aren't even honest to themselves or their own feelings to even get to that conclusion.
Yeah. So be real with yourself first.
Come on, everybody.
Okay? Just be honest with yourself. Is this working?
Oh,
you know what I mean? And if it's not working, you're going to know. You're going to, like you said earlier, feel. You're going to feel, and it's going to be like, does this feel good or does it feel bad?
Yeah.
And we all want to feel good. You know what I mean? But I think it is important to say also, you got to have adult conversations.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to be able to be in tune with yourself enough to articulate how you feeling.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm getting better at that.
Yeah. It's tough.
I'm pretty good, actually. I'm pretty good at communicating.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to find partners that are also good at communicating.
Yeah.
And then, and especially for me being very busy.
Yeah.
And I feel like for how busy I am, I do communicate, hey, I got, like, sorry to slot you in, but that actually shows how much I prioritize you.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's like, oh, it's got to be 6 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Yeah, this is the time I got.
That's the time I got, and I would love to spend that time with you. You know, like.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for us, man.
Man.
It's tough for us, man.
I don't date in entertainment, personally. Do you?
I have.
Yeah.
But the scheduling is so crazy.
Man.
It's really tough to do that. I've done it when I was younger, but as an adult, no, I haven't come across anyone that's just like, oh, we met on our journey, and we like, I don't have to say that, and you like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I haven't come across a being like that just yet, but
same.
Someone that has kind of like a different regimen, that works for me.
I like that.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, show me something else.
You know what I'm saying?
The entertainment conversations.
I need some contrast, baby.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Now we're like at dinner, we're laying in bed talking, we're talking about music.
Right.
Not like music you like, but just like the business, like what's going on or how hard it are these things. Like, I'd rather work with. I'm okay with adversity,
Right.
but yeah, teach me something else. I want to learn about a new market.
Yeah. That works for me currently.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Good.
You know what I mean? To be able to have some conversations outside and then help people. You know, that's one of the things that I feel like, is encompassing of all of my relationships. It's like I want to be able to learn from you and I want to be able to show you some things as well.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Meanwhile, you're Omarion. So you like walk into the room and it's like,
hi ladies, how you doing tonight? Hey, nice to meet you. Omarion. Hey. I love this. I love this cue.
Inglewood.
Yes.
I'm from Pasadena.
Word. Dana.
Let's go.
Dana.
We were too far to play each other in sports, but we would have both been in 1984.
Right. Hey, you know, it's funny. Somebody was just having an argument with me about Pasadena.
Really?
Yeah, because, you know, us Californians, everybody knows what Pasadena is, but they were like, well, if you mention Pasadena to anyone else, they're not going to know what it is. And we like, nah, the Rose Bowl, you know what I'm saying?
Huge.
Like, you know.
The Rose Parade.
You know, Stevie Wonder.
There, come on.
You know, we know he lives somewhere around in Pasadena.
McCartney's there.
Okay.
Somewhere.
Yeah. So, you know, we pay homage to the Dinas.
See, so I say I'm from Pasadena because no one actually knows besides locals. Do you know Sierra Madre?
Yeah.
Okay, that's where I'm from.
Oh, okay.
Little tiny Sierra Madre town in Pasadena. Whatever. But anyways, I grew up in public schools.
Yep.
You grew up in public schools.
Yeah.
So you were in Inglewood and then you went to Hamilton?
Yeah, so I was in Inglewood and then I moved to LA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is down the street from each other.
Exactly. Just
like Inglewood,
the
LA. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, like I went to Audubon, I went to John Burroughs, I went to Hamilton High. I even went to LA High for summer school. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm a LSU. What is
LAUSD.
it? LAUSD. Yeah, I was about to say LSU. LAUSD kid. You know what I mean? Grown man.
What do you think? How important to you is arts education? So
it's so important for me. You know, it's really how I found my way. You know, and also it shaped who I am today. You know what I'm saying? So going to Hamilton High was a wonderful experience. I was a part of the magnet program. Mm-hmm. And you know, that's when I actually started my journey with music, production. I remember I used to have a production class. I used to sing in choir. I had voice and piano. Shout out to Miss Rogan. So yeah, you know, being able to, and then outside of that, like all of the other kids that went to my school, you know, James went to Hamilton. Yep. You know, Robert Richard, Shia LaBeouf. You know what I mean? Like so many other creatives. Ty Dolla $ign. You know what I mean? Like,
Terrace Martin, Manny Marroquin.
Come on, come on. Can we get? Do you got a horn for that? Or you got a chime? Oh, not that horn.
That's the only horn I have. Not appropriate.
Right.
That's for if something bombs.
Right. But
which never happens.
Right, which never happens. But yeah, shout out to all of them. But yeah, I mean, being at a school like that and then, you know, like seeing all of those other creatives like later on in life and link back up with them. Matter of fact, me and my boy Ty Dolla $ign got a song together. Yep. You know what I mean? So yeah. Shout out to all the
LA.
I'm messing it up again.
LAUSD.
LAUSD. It's been a minute since I've been in school, y'all.
California public schools got you there, man.
Like, rocking.
Yeah.
Rocking. And I mean, it really helped me, you know, emphasize my relationship with community. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, shout out to all of the teachers that, you know, helped me along the way. One of my favorite teachers, Miss Ellis. Miss Godfrey, you know what I mean?
What did they do?
Well, this was elementary, you
Oh,
know what I
nice.
mean? Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, you have those teachers that you just never forget. And she's one of those teachers that was always supportive, always pushed me, always was like, Omari, now I know you smart, okay? Why do you want to play all day? Come on, get in the books, boy. You know what I'm saying? So she was one of those teachers that, you know, helped me advance and emphasized, you know, on being smart and intelligent, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Outside of the music and outside of what I experienced at John Burroughs and Hamilton High. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
Yeah, man.
yeah, growing up in LA has been a joy. It's been such a journey, you know what I mean? It's a beautiful place. You know, I'm so happy to be a Californian.
A Califian?
Yeah,
Califian?
Califian. You ever heard that
I
one?
never said that.
Yeah, Califian. Yeah. That's the Indian tribes that was here before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, got to start using that. I
Yeah.
just stick with Angelino, but
Okay.
it's specific to specific to LA.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you know, we got the school gig platform,
Yep.
and you know, so we're on a mission right now. What we're trying to do is bring more arts and music teachers into the California public school system,
Yeah.
from preschool all the way through high school.
That's great.
Every single public school in the entire state.
That's amazing.
You know, we started with Inglewood Unified School District as our very first one.
Dope.
Now we're getting on LAUSD and Fresno and really spreading through the state.
That's amazing.
So what we need to do in order to be successful, though, is because right now there are 5,000 arts and music educators in the state of California.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to create 15,000 more.
Wow.
So it's creating new teachers.
That's
So,
dope.
so if you are an artist, musician, dancer,
Yep.
visual artist, whatever it is, and you ever were interested in teaching, now's the time, because there's via Prop 28, there's all this new money
Yeah.
that goes to the schools for free. So it's free to the schools, and they can pay these like great salaries and actually get benefits. So if it ever
That's amazing.
was something for you, that's what we're trying to do to get these kids to be able to learn
Yeah.
art and music, because so much art and music funding in the past has been slashed.
Yeah.
So they've gone from a deficit to now having like, oh wow, we have money.
Yeah.
So we're trying to also help to be like, hey, here's all these incredible artists that could be teaching these kids, whether
That's
it's
dope.
music or dance or visual arts or even computer programming or anything. But like, do you
Yeah.
think, like, why do you think, or do you think an artist should be a teacher?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's so important to be able to pass down the experience. You know, that's one thing that me and a lot of my friends always speak about is like, you know, we wish we could have got those tutorials that now seems to be regular. You know, you can just my kid is on YouTube. He go to YouTube University. You know what I'm saying? He learning everything. He's like, Dad, did you know this? Did you know this? I'm like, you need to get off of YouTube. But I think it's
How old is he?
He just turned 9
That's
in
awesome.
August.
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, he's always telling me some very interesting things, to say the least.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, where did you learn that from, son? But it's really cool because the school that he goes to, he has a music teacher, Mr. Silva. I actually just came from what they call a unit share now, like an hour ago.
Oh, nice.
And they played the xylophone, and they had this whole performance. So music
so cool.
has helped really articulate people like myself and other kids that are creative, you know, because not everyone has the same skills, you know what I'm saying? So music is definitely a tool, and I'm so happy because I remember when they slashed everything. I remember when they was like, no music program. I'm like, what is going to happen with these kids? Because, you know, sports is great too, you know what I mean? But music, you know, sports, you know, like we need that. We need that abundantly in our school program systems because we see you know, how much it helps kids grow and be able to identify what it is that they want to pursue in their lives. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to start as young as I did really helped shape me. And I'll be looking for that next star that comes out of Los Angeles, California. Where you at?
Oh yeah.
Where you at? Because the programs is here. So we expect to see you in a few years. I'm going to let you know if you're tuning in now. Because there's some great musicians online. I see a lot of child prodigies.
God. So many.
I'm like, yo, look at this. I seen a kid making a whole beat.
Yeah.
I'm like, what program is that? I need to learn that.
That kid teaching?
Right.
It's unbelievable, man.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
I couldn't pay attention in school unless I was doing, it was either music or it was like basketball.
Right. Right. It's a lot of us.
I was like, oh, it's time for biology class. I was just like,
yeah, here comes math.
Yeah.
Okay, I know how to count, but
and yeah, we didn't even have enough of an arts program. I went to Arcadia High School.
Oh, okay.
Which was a great high school, like, GPA, high GPA and everything. But it was just like, but that also made me feel even more uncomfortable as a low GPA kid, right? I was just like, and if it wasn't for music, I wouldn't be able to. Yeah. I mean, I just wouldn't. Music taught me how to to be passionate about something and to be expressive with something and to experiment and to become entrepreneurial. That came from trying to make money as a drummer, which then, 10 years later, then now I'm making money in business with music and all this stuff. So, but that all just came from that. It's like
straight up.
I can only imagine getting talented artists, super talented professional artists, and whatever your art is, into the classrooms, teaching whether you're 8 or 16.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm definitely going to be teaching some classes for sure. I'm going to pull up. And I'm going to let you know about this experience, you know what I'm saying? Because there's so much to do. There's so much to do.
Well, let's get Omarion in the classroom. And if not, you can bring him into your own classroom at home. Read the book. It's going to be amazing. Yeah. Read every lyric on Full Circle, every single Full Circle.
Yeah.
All of them. Thank you for being on the show, dude.
Thank you for having me. And thank you for Jam, man.
Hey, my pleasure. You're awesome. And
yes, sir.
I cherish our friendship. I'm excited for it.
Come on.
1984, Omarion.
Let's go. Omarion.
We're out.
We're out.
Go. Let's go.